go.
No. Oh, this is a good one, man.
Coffee. Coffee. Morning, everybody.
And this one's crazy. This chapter's gonna be wild.
Today we're going to do Matthew chapter 17. Trying to wake myself up here.
Yeah.
Just made downstairs and John's like, let's do this. Somebody's already watching Morning to You. This is how you get Matthew 17. Give a couple more seconds. Now that get people in here. Oh, and wake up. Wake to sleep for my eyes.
Yeah.
All right, let's pray ourselves in. We'll get started because we got church this morning. There's a bunch of churches online on Facebook and YouTube. Please, I encourage you to go watch a sermon today. Near the Word. Most of them start at 11 o'clock, 10:30. Down there, around there. You're putting your socks on?
Yeah.
All right. We'll praise Him. Dear Lord, thank you for everything that you do for us. You give us a house to protect us from the cold and the elements. You give us food in our fridge. You give us brothers and sisters to help guide us along the way too. And you use them to encourage us and love us back. Lord, it's amazing what you just do in our lives. You have purpose for us. You had a story all played out, and you asked us to be a part of it, Lord, and thank you for that so much. Thank you for giving us love, guidance, and protection, Lord. And keep on protection of everybody that's watching this and their families from this virus that's going around, and protect us, our families. In Jesus' name, amen. So we're starting out with Matthew 17. My title is Transfiguring.
My title is Jesus is Transfigured on the Mountain.
I'm going to try reading even though I haven't woke up yet.
If you want me to read, I got you.
No, you can get the next one. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, brothers of James, and led them up to a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. Just then there appeared before him Moses and Elijah, talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I'll put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he was speaking, a bright cloud enveloped him. And a voice from the cloud said, This is my son, from whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him. When the disciples heard this, they fell face down on the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them. Get up, he said. Don't be afraid. When they looked up and they saw no one except Jesus, as they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, Do not tell anyone what you've seen till the Son of Man has been risen from the dead. The disciples asked him why. Then do the teachers of the law say Elijah must come first? Jesus replied, To be sure, Elijah comes and restores all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already came. And they did not even recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer in their hands. Then disciples understood that he was talking about John the Baptist. Morning, Kevin. How you doing this morning? So that's pretty crazy. It's a good story on it. What's the main thing that you're taking from it?
Oh, I mean, I watched a sermon just on this, and I was like, and it's like, and just rereading it, it's like, yeah, crazy. I'd be shocked. You know, I'd be in like completely like if being one of the disciples seeing that. That's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get a lot of that too. One of these things is transfigured part.
Yeah.
Jesus appeared on it. He was transfigured before him. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light.
Yep.
And this is what a lot of people say is going to happen when we die. We get this new body
Yep.
on it. We get this new body. It's supposed to be, totally without, we'll be healed of everything. Won't feel pain and stuff. This is kind of a glimpse of it. People say on it that we're gonna shine. We're gonna shine like a light that time. There's a lot of cool things, different aspects about what happens when we die, when the body we come on it. It could be a really good Bible study sometime. There's a lot of different points of views to it. But there's so just then appeared before them Moses and Elijah. That's kind of crazy though, because how did the disciples know it was Moses and Elijah?
We have no idea. I have no idea.
It's a good question, huh?
Is it another prophecy fulfilled in it?
Do you got any commentary on it? How did the disciples know that was Moses and Elijah?
I gotta like. That would be what? 3? Oh yeah. Wait.
You got something?
Malachi 4:5.
Malachi 4:5, huh?
Yep. Malachi
That's
4:5
last
and 6.
That's last chapter about Malachi.
Well, it says Elijah represents the prophets who foretold the coming of Messiah. Moses and Elijah.
Is that more Malachi what?
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
No, like 4, like chapter 4,
Yeah.
5, and 6.
See, I send you the prophet of Elijah before that great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to their fathers, or else I will come and strike the land with a curse. That's pretty cool, huh? That's definitely different.
Or doing monetary 18, 15, 19. I don't know what it's saying.
What's that, Malachi or what?
It's the doer.
Deuteronomy?
It's Deuteronomy.
It's like this second or third book.
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
Let's see if I got something on here. 'Cause I'm interested. Just how they knew that was Peter and Elijah and Moses. All I can say alright. Moses had lived somewhere around 1400 years before this, and Elijah 900 years before that. Yet they were alive in some sort of resurrection and glorified state. It's fair to think that these two particular persons from the Old Testament appeared because they represented the law Oh, that's cool. So they figured Moses represented the law,
Oh yeah.
Elijah represented the prophets.
And then it's weird on how the father.
So all this really tells you right here. So they were figuring the disciples were figuring it was Moses and Elijah because one represented the law, one represented the prophets. Later on to be confirmed by Jesus to the prophets. There was Moses and Elijah. That's where my commentary's got it. Because he brought up, well, Elijah has already came. He was the son of he was John the Baptist.
Oh, well, right here in Deuteronomy 18:15, it's the telling of these prophets will arise.
Yeah.
It is saying the nations. Well, it says 14 to 15. It says the nations you will listen to those who practice sorcery, division, but as for you, the Lord your God has not permitted you to do so. The Lord your God will raise up you a prophet like me from among you, and you must listen to him. And that's what he says.
Yeah.
And that's what he tells them.
Yeah, that's what he says about Jesus. This is my son who I love, and I'm well pleased and listen to.
And it's crazy. That's like how he enters to like Moses, up on the mountain.
Yeah.
For the Ten Commandments.
There's one more. I mean, Peter wants to build houses for him and build shelters for him.
Yeah.
On it and stuff, and but I just want to get this point right here on it. Why do the teachers of the law say Elijah must come first? Jesus replied, to be sure Elijah comes and will restore all things, but I tell you, Elijah's already came, and they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer in their hands. Then the disciples understood that he was talking about them. So, I'm really big about, putting yourself in the Bible. I'm very big about, examining yourself, help yourself grow. And this is a really powerful statement right here. Because you think about it, how many times God's given us chances, shown us through on it, through the Bible and through our lives. And yet we're too blind by ourselves. We're too blind by our own self-ambitions, our self-control, our self-righteousness to see what he's doing for us or seeing what he's actually, doing in our lives. On it. We have to get over this wall that's blocking us for him to use us more, to love us more, to show us more. And if we just sit back and say, you know what, I'm good. I do that. It's self-righteousness. We all have room to improve. And the more we improve, the more we're going to find his love, the more he uses us, the more he opens our hearts and cleans us and everything, the more we grow. We just have to keep on saying yes and trying to reach him as much as possible, stay in his word, and grow closer to him. Once we start sitting back and saying, it's just like even it went back when church was going. How many times you sit in church? Well, and the church pastor whips out a sermon. And you're like, oh, well. He goes, I already knew this. It's not for me. It is for you. It is. That's a large lesson that it took me to learn, too, is because, God's putting you there to learn something. Open your heart to it. On it. So just like a Bible study or anything like that. If you don't open your heart to it, you're blocking it.
Yeah. like he says, he won't put you in a room if you have no purpose in being in it.
You know, God sends all these messengers, all these signs, man, and you know, it's just like when the disciples were walking with Jesus, they're all seeing him heal everything, feed everybody, but you know, they kept on down it. They kept on down there, on it, down. You know what I'm saying? God's literally speaking out of the cloud now, saying, "This is my son, who I love, and well pleased," and listen to him. Right? How much more do you want until you like give yourself over completely to him? Anything else to add?
Oh, it's I would just be in shock just seeing this again. Like what I would say, just hearing it.
Hmm? I love how many times, and this is what we're getting into, that he actually foretells his death before it happens.
Oh yeah.
You know, this is like a major prophecy just unveiling from the disciples' eyes. He's literally saying, "Hey, I'm going to go and be crucified and resurrected 3 days." This is somebody that's literally saying, "Hey, I'm going to die and be resurrected 3 days." It had to be crazy, but it happens. God did the whole thing right in front of their eyes. It's crazy, man. I had a couple questions. How did you come to realize that Jesus was the one above all others that you should listen to? No?
What?
How did you come to realize that Jesus was one above all others that you should listen to?
Well, like the laws that they give is it's the moral. It's like
Moral laws, yeah.
moral laws. And
Yeah.
it's like, and like what in well what he tells you it like touches your heart, not your I don't know. Don't like it's weird.
It's we were just talking about it. It's the whole self-righteous thing, the whole control act for me on it. I had to have control of everything, right? Couldn't let it go. And Jesus says, "Give it to me," and I have it under control. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And stuff. And then once I did it, I released everything. But this is the point about it: is we got to bring it into everything. You got to bring it into your relationships at work. Once you do that, you put Jesus in control of that, miracles will happen. You got to do it in your house. You got to put Jesus as a foundation. Once you do that, miracles will happen. Give him control. I mean, he wants you to give him control. He wants you to hand it over. Say, "I can't do it no more. It's all on you." I have faith that you're going to take care of it. I tell you this, every time he has taken care of it for me. Even in the craziest situations where you don't think it's going to happen, poof, on it and stuff. He has taken care of it for me. You know, and that's the thing about it. It relieves so much stress and peace. It gives you so much peace in your life, and gets rid of worry. On it. Where are we here now? How has God said to you, "This is my son or daughter, who I love, and I'm well pleased"?
Well, I'm well pleased. It's like amazing, like no other. It's beyond everything. Yeah.
And it's the forgiveness there too, because you know I still mess up. I still fall. I still got my own things, and I, do my own things without, ask God what I should do and stuff. I try to take control of it, and I don't. It's like a father-son relationship. I know, you know, he disappoints tonight. You know, I'm sorry, God. And he's always forgive. He always is back. Once we give that back, once we say, Lord, I'm sorry, and turn, he takes everything away. And he always does, dude. Alright, I am going to grab another cup of coffee while I have John read the next part. The healing of the boy with the demon.
Okay.
Because I need 2 cups of coffee. No way around.
When they came to the crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. Lord, have mercy on my son, he said. He has seizures and is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him. You, unbelieving and perverse generation. Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me. Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed at that moment.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff.
Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, why couldn't we drive it out? He replied, because you have so little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you.
That's it?
Yep,
That's as far as you went?
yep, and that's as far as it goes.
Mine goes another one. Alright.
Well, no, well, that's when it.
Okay.
Mine says that's when Jesus predicts his second death.
Okay, so when I love this story because we have a lot to learn from this story. When they came to the crowd, a man approached. Lord, have mercy on my son. He has seizures and he is suffering greatly. He often falls into the fire and the water. I brought him to your disciples and they could not heal him. Oh, you unbelieving and perverse generation. How long should I stay with you? How long should I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me. Jesus rebukes the demon, and it came out of the boy, and was healed. Then the disciples asked why they couldn't drive it out. Let's just stick with that point for a little bit. So, just remember that we just read that story where they're up on top of the mountain. And God came down in cloud and said, this is my son, who I'm well pleased. Listen to him. And just seen all this. They go in there, right? Try to cast out a demon of the boy. Couldn't do it. I wish, you know, and this is the thing about it, is we want to call it demons, we want to call it the devil, we want to call it all this stuff. But there's walls in us that we don't let God have either. That we don't think that, you know, He can take care of either. And like I told you, I've talked to this one lady all the time that says that, you know, she's got demons all around her. And I'm like, well, do you read the Bible? I go, do you believe in Jesus? Do you cast them out in Jesus' name? She's like, yes. And I'm like, well, you know what? Do you believe that Jesus can actually do it? Don't know what you mean by that. I'm like, read the Bible and find out what I'm talking about, because it's lack of faith. Jesus says He gives us all this stuff. He gives us commands. We have, you know, all this stuff, and we doubt it. We doubt it. Just like in Legion, the story of the thing, he cast out thousands of demons. Mm-hmm. They immediately knew who he was. Before he even said a word, he came out the boat, and they're like, Son of God, do not make us go to this one place, cast us out in the pigs. They immediately knew that he had authority. Why can't we admit that he has authority of our life? Why can't we admit that he has authority of all the things in our life? We hold stuff back. This story right here, and I've literally sat in Bible studies where they say if you have a small mustard seed of faith, you could go move here to there and it will move. You can move a mountain, it says. If you have a small, but Jesus is saying we can do it. Why are we done? I've seen mountains move in people's lives all the time. Things that they can't get over, that's just huge mountains that they're trying to climb every day and just keep on falling back down from it. I've seen them moved. Why do we doubt the power of God? Here Jesus comes in and he heals all these people. Does all this stuff. Then after Jesus gets resurrected and go up, the disciples start doing it. Peter and Paul and all of them, they start healing them. Jesus says, the Holy Spirit's in you, you have this ability. Why are we doubt? Why do we doubt? There's walls inside of us. And I love this because, it's just like with Jesus. He just got done with the thing and it comes out, oh, you unbelieving and perverse generation, how long will I stay with you? He just had God coming down in a cloud saying, hey, this is my son, he's well loved, please listen to him. Crazy, huh? What are you thinking?
No. I don't know. Well.
Okay, so when you reply because you have little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have the faith that seed is mustard seed, you can move a mountain. He would say, move it here to there, and it'll move. Nothing will be impossible for you. That's a pretty powerful statement. And yet we forget about it. It's like we forget about it when things are, when you feel like God wants you to go do something. Right? With God, you can do all things. God tells you to go teach. You don't need, he will teach, he will show you how to do it. God tells you where to go, he will supply you. It's all through this. The Bible, of where he actually supplies everything we need. All we have to do is say yes and go, and yet we don't have the faith. We back out of it. Ain't that crazy?
Wild.
When has a mountaintop experience in your life been followed by a valley experience?
Mountaintop experience followed by a what?
A valley experience. How do you cope? That's an interesting statement. I don't really, it's like when you're climbing a mountain and all of a sudden you come to a valley. So another hardship, a hardship, and then the easiness. I'm gonna go grab my cup of coffee. I need my second cup. I need my second cup. Ain't it? That was quick.
What?
And so, did you figure out?
No?
We got mountaintops and valleys all of our life.
Yeah, I know. It's a whole roller coaster. An up and a down and up and a down.
to cope through them all.
Yeah.
That's basically
Starting
what it's
to.
getting to. In which areas of your life do you long to see more faith?
Everyone would like to say now and the future.
What areas in your life do you want to see more faith?
Now. Like right now.
It's asking where you fail. Where you don't.
Oh.
On it.
I was thinking time-wise. I was thinking now and...
It's asking where you fall short when God asks you to do something. Or, you feel led to do something on it. My problem is, I'll tell you this right now. Speaking to some people, I let fear sometimes get in front of me. I let, my pride and stuff like that, take control, and I walk away when I'm not supposed to. And when I'm supposed to witness. A lot of times it's, your own family members. There was a time in my life where it was healing. And I needed more faith that God could heal me.
I've got some commentary on this.
Okay.
On verse 20, about moving the mountain. Jesus wasn't condemning the disciples for substandard faith. He was trying to show how important faith would be in the future, in their future ministry. If you were facing a problem that seems as big as and immovable as a mountain, turn your eyes from the mountain and look to Christ for more faith. Only then will your work for him becomes useful and vibrant. Me myself, vibrant might be like a 5-letter word, but I don't know.
Well, and then that's an awesome statement there, because we forget Jesus knows everything. He knows the outcome of all the situation. And he knew that the disciples were going to go suffer just like he did. A lot of them got killed. All of them except one, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They were all prosecuted for their beliefs. Jesus was preparing them for it back then. That's a pretty cool statement on it. I never realized that. Yeah, because the only one that lived was John.
Oh,
Who wrote Revelation.
Yeah, and
all
he died.
Them were,
died natural causes.
all the other ones were pretty much. Well, Peter was hung upside down, crucified upside down, because he didn't want to be crucified like Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Oh man. Like just if we like read back on like how on how all the disciples died,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Yeah. So he's prepared. He's prepared. Would you? That's a big question. Is your faith strong enough to handle what the disciples went through?
Persecution? Yeah.
Persecution and death.
Oh yeah.
Or would you deny them?
Deny him? No, I wouldn't.
It's a pretty tough statement to even think about until you're in that position, I guess. That's crazy. Yeah, because you got to remember, Peter denied him 3 times on the cross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. What demons seem to be more common in Jesus' days, and why do we say that them demons don't exist today?
What demons are?
Why do demons seem more common? Yeah, why do demons seem more common in Jesus' day? Why don't we admit that they're here today?
The world doesn't like to accept there's bad.
That's pretty crazy, huh? That's pretty crazy. It's a powerful statement because we don't want to admit it.
Yep. If they admit that there's bad, that means there would have to admit that there's good. And if there's a demon, what's the other side of the demon?
Who is Jesus describing in verse 17? Why would he say such a thing? Let's see, on verse 17. "O you unbelieving and perverse generation," replied, "how long shall I stay with you? How long should I put up with you?"
I'm guessing the disciples.
Generation. He's talking about the world there.
Oh yeah. Oh duh.
He's walking through the whole world right now, doing miracles, doing all that stuff. They're seeing it all. Well, we're basically the same thing. God's all working in our life. Yeah, we don't give him the credit for it. We don't pretend, we think of it as coincidence and luck. We don't accept that it's actually God working in our life. The other day I was working at the food pantry, just to tell you the story. I worked at the food pantry and came up and helped somebody, and the guy was overwhelmed. He was, "Oh, thank you for the help." It was an older gentleman, and I was like, "This ain't me helping you." I go, "God gave us this building. God gave us the food. God told me to come work here." I go, "This is all God helping you." He goes, "Well, I don't believe that." I go, he goes, "You're a person that just does good deeds." And I'm going, "The only reason I do good deeds is because God tells me to. Trust me, I would be home sitting on my couch right now. And God didn't tell me to get up and go to this food pantry for you." I go, God works all the way around us. And that's what I'm trying to say is we take it another way. We take it as coincidence or luck or, that's a good person. Is that what it is? It's God's working through people. Alright, so I'm going to read this temple tax. Up top here.
22.
"When they came together in Galilee, he said to them, 'The Son of Man is going to go be betrayed by the hands of men. They will kill him, and on the third day he will be raised in life.' And then the disciples were filled with grief." So again, he's saying, just a second ago, he said that the Son of Man, right here up in the part before, it was 12, right? And he says, "In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer in their hands." He's predicting his death. Warren County, he predicts his death many times.
Like 3.
He literally says this time that the third day he's going to be raised to life. It comes true. Yet we have problems accepting that Jesus was the Messiah. When he was the only one that was doing miracles, the only one fulfilling prophecies on it. Throughout his whole life, the whole Bible is written about Jesus. From point A to point B, we all need it. It's all about Jesus. And we can't accept that he's the Messiah. I mean, that's the problem with the Pharisees. And one thing, they knew everything about the Old Testaments. They studied them for their whole life. And they couldn't grasp the concept that Jesus was the Messiah. A lot of people will say, well, this is just a book. Well, 700 years before Jesus was born, it was said that he was going to come from a virgin mother. Isaiah. How the heck do you explain that actually possibly happened when Jesus is born from a virgin mother? How's that even explainable? It's not. It's because it's God. It is God. It's all God.
Honestly, I think the Pharisees, they liked the authority, but then as soon as higher up authority fell on to them,
it gets down to it. Jesus knew that people ain't going to believe this, and he said it many times on it. Whoever has ears, hear. People are going to be blind. They ain't going to believe this stuff. And this is what he's getting. "Oh, unbelieving generation, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you?" He's always working in our lives. How long? Until we fully believe him. After Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma tax came to Peter and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay tax, temple tax?" "Yeah, he does." When Peter came into the house, Jesus was first to speak to him. "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. "From who does the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? For their own sons or from others?" "From others," Peter explained. "Then the sons are exempt," Jesus said to him. "But so that we may not offend them, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you'll find 4 drachma coins. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours." That's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
That is crazy. So, here's the thing about it. There's a couple things in here that hits me. I'll let you go first.
Yeah.
But it's you.
Well, oh man, I was just reading, it was like it's like the commentary, like my commentary says something, and it stuck kind of like in me. It says, as God's people, we are known, we are foreigners on earth, because our loyalty is always to our real King Jesus. Still, we have to cooperate with authorities and be responsible citizens. So these tax collectors were supposed, and an ambassador to another country keeps the local laws in order to represent, the one who sent him. We are Christ's ambassadors. 2 Corinthians 5:20. Are you being a good foreign ambassador for him in this world?
But like stabbing me on the heart over here, huh?
Huh?
There's a lot to it.
That's what it's saying, and it's crazy.
You just brought up something that on it.
And that's 24 to 27, and it's like, it's crazy. Like ambassadors and
Yeah.
like
What's that
just
mean?
seeing that, like an ambassador is someone from a foreign country who is sent, or country or state or whatever, is sent to a country, but like their like their ruler on their country kind of pays for everything and protects them in the country that they're going to, and like with an ambassador, the country that they're supposed to do, that they're going to, like they're also supposed to protect and like not like harm them. They can't harm them in any way, and it's like representing, like an ambassador is representing for their kingdom or our country, and in a way we are ambassadors to Christ, and we are representing Christ to this worldly, and as it says, from whom do the kings of the earth and 25 collect duty and taxes from their own children or from the others. It's crazy. And since we're from a foreign land, or we belong in heaven, since baptism, and when you're filled with the Spirit, you become a servant or a citizen to heaven, and this is what and that's what an ambassador is. If we look at 2 Corinthians 5:20,
It's a pretty key point, and it's a hard thing to accept sometimes. Is that, we have to go out and be part of the world as an ambassador of Christ. An ambassador of Christ means that we have to obey some stuff that on it, the laws out there. But when it overcomes what's right by God, we go with God. And it was a hard concept for me to learn on it because authority, to me, is hard. When you go into a church and they have different things, and when you go to a different church, you know, they have different, how can I say it, ways of doing stuff and stuff, you know, it was hard for me to take this. But, you know, it's just like you say, it's an ambassador of Christ. We have to go in. And we have to go in there with just joy and love and witness and encourage. And, but, you know, this is, you know, and we have to be better. God's going to take care of us. And this is what he's basically saying. God's going to take care of all our needs. Our needs, not our wants. There's a big difference there. Alright? We're always going to have our needs taken care of. What God feels that we need, we're going to get. We pray to him and keep faith. Alright? Whether you want to hear it or not, a lot of our time, our wants are not what God wants us to do. And, but here, you know, there's this thing on this that gets pretty awesome. I love the whole fish thing.
Oh yeah, it's,
you know.
I think it's like a funny, like, you know.
But I want to go
kind
break
of
this
joke.
down a little bit. After Jesus said to ride to Capernaum, the collectors of the 2 drachma tax came to Peter, and doesn't your teacher pay temple tax? So you have to pay a tax to go into the temple. Yeah, he does. When Peter came in the house, Jesus was the first to speak. What do you think, Simon? And this is going right to you. Switch the name Simon to your name. What do you think? From who do the kings of their earth collect duties to the taxes? From their own sons and daughters, or from others? So if you own a candy store, would you make your son and daughter buy candy? Or would you make the customers coming in? Peter answers, from others. Then the sons are exempt, Jesus said to him. The sons are exempt. So this is what Jesus is kind of throwing out there. What are we? What are we?
Ambassador.
We are sons and daughters of God.
Oh.
We are sons and daughters of God. We've been adopted into this family, and we are sons and daughters of God. So, if we're going into our Father's house, which is the temple, back then they said it was God's house, why would we have to pay a tax?
Pharisees.
But here's the key point. Jesus made that point to them. It says, but so that we may not offend them people, go out to the lake, throw out your line, take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you'll find 4 drachma coins.
It's a nice session.
So we have problems believing that Jonah gets eaten by a whale, but we believe that, you know, the first line that Peter cast out, caught the first fish, there was 4 coins in his mouth. Isn't that crazy how many miracles God does? He does, man. That's crazy. So, take it and give it to them for my tax and yours. So this is a statement. This is how hard Jesus hits right here. Mark 12:17. Jesus was asked. I'll actually flip to it. Give me a second here, because I love this story. paying taxes to Caesar. Later they sent some Pharisees and Sadducees to Jesus to catch him in his words. They came to him and said, "Teacher, we know that you're a man of integrity. You aren't swayed by men, because you pay no attention to who they are, but you teach the way of God, according to the truth." So the Pharisees and them are men. Hey, you speak God's words. You only go truth. You don't care about what men believe. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should we pay or shouldn't we? But Jesus knew that this was a trap. And he goes, "Why are you trying to trap me?" He asked, "Bring me the denarius and let me look at it." When he brought the coin, and he asked, "Whose portrait is on this? And whose inscription?" "Caesar," they replied. And Jesus said to him, "Give Caesar what is Caesar's, and give God what is God's." Now here's my question for you. If you take that statement right there, right? Why is money so important? Why is money so important? Everybody's like, "Well, I got bills to pay, I got a house to pay, on it." Yeah, I understand that. This ain't the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is, why is money so important? I understand you got car, you got a house to pay, you got food in the fridge, alright? You got all that, right? But the world says you need 3 cars or 2 cars in your driveway. You gotta have a boat, you gotta have a motorcycle, you have all these things. Jesus says, "What is the world's give to the world? What is mine give to me?" How much are we accumulating of what world tells us we need and what Jesus tells us we need in our lives? Because whether we want to admit it or not, alright, we spend so much time worrying about what the world wants us to have, trying to strive to do what the world wants us to do. We're forgetting about the key points of our family. We're leaving our kids behind. We're leaving our spouse behind. And all this, just to try to get what the world wants us to do. And it's not possible. The more money you make, the more money you burn. You'll never have enough. Go ahead. You want to go?
No.
Oh, that was it? I got a couple questions that we're going to end because, got church services going on. Which freedoms do you enjoy most as a Christian?
Freedom?
Yeah, what freedoms do you enjoy most as a Christian?
Communication.
Your prayer, every time. Feeling safe. That's a freedom.
Mine is freedoms of the chains that I used to carry
Oh yeah.
on it, the burdens that were on my shoulders.
The yoke. Or heavy yoke.
Yeah,
Heavy yoke.
that God took from me, and the love that He shows, and saying that we can make it through everything.
I love the joy, the
Yeah.
spirit, like through the spirit.
What is at stake when we offend somebody?
What is at stake when we offend someone?
What is at stake when we offend somebody?
Hatred.
No.
That's when we offend someone.
Hmm?
A lot. Not good. Probably said worldly things.
Well, it's where a lot of things go where, everybody says, all them Christians are so mean, Bible thumping, and all that, and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference between witnessing and witnessing with love. And that's what we need to do. And you look at Jesus' walk, you'll find out how to witness with love on it. The stuff. Just like the woman at the well.
Oh yeah.
Tell the story all the time on it. Woman at the well is a perfect example of how Jesus witnessed. and stuff. But so, and don't think that you're not gonna offend people, because you're gonna offend people
Left
when
and
you're
right
trying.
on that.
But we're not supposed to. We're supposed to represent Jesus Christ. We're supposed to do it with love and hearts and joy, and we're always supposed to be a light.
And he'll tell you when enough is enough.
That's right. That's right. What happens when you get offended? Switch it back. You instantly put a wall up. You instantly put a wall up. And that wall stays up until you either say, hey, you know what? I'll look into it. I'll ask God to reveal it for me and get in the book. Or just, you keep on going around. It's resentment. It's burdens.
Yeah, it's it's something everyone works on. Try not to get offended.
Well, as Christians, we're not. We're supposed to respect this idea that God tells us that He's going to discipline us. He's going to discipline us. He's cleaning us from the inside out. And we're self-righteous. We are. We think we're always right. So when we go to a Bible study or when we go to church and we get offended by something, we're supposed to say, God, what do you mean by this? Show me, and get into His Word and figure it out. It might take a year for you to figure out. It might take longer. But eventually God reveals it to you. But the thing about it is we got to be willing to open our hearts to it and stuff.
Gotta seek it.
Because most of the time, that's what I found out, most of the time I was always wrong in life. I was always putting my pride or my self-righteousness in front of God. And on that note, there's churches going on today, so please watch a sermon
I'll go
on
ahead
it.
and pray out.
And we're going to call her quits today because we're going to get ready to go to churches here. So, want to pray us out, you said?
Jesus, we come to you today and we thank you for this great Bible study and everyone watching. Be with everyone who's listening in and seeing this. And be with everyone in their journey. And keep them, help them keep following you and walking with you, Lord. Guide us and show us where you want us to be today. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. You guys have an amazing day.